Hey, this is Notser, and this is Untitled. This week I want to discuss something kind of cool that came up. With the recent patch, 7.10, a whole lot of content came out. We got the Halloween stuff, we've got, obviously, the Royal Navy destroyers, and rank sprint. I want to talk about all that. I also want to talk about the fact that CCs got reintroduced to legendaries. And so for anyone who doesn't know, CCs get early access to content, and we're supposed to talk about it. And not just make content that will stand the test of time, but just tease the content to get people to enjoy it. You know, go out and explore it. Try and unlock it. Unfortunately, this doesn't really give us a lot of testing on each individual module to the extent that we can make it viable. So our impression is very shallow, which is reasonable given the time. However, now that real players, the community has gotten an extensive time with all of these legendaries, they've actually established pretty significant builds that we can exploit and try and make viable and show interest in the legendaries. So I intend to take this opportunity to cover every single legendary that I can in a significant way with a really great game and a build to match it. This is the Tier 10 American Heavy Cruiser Des Moines. We are on the map hotspot, and I am using that acceleration module. That legendary is so significant to changing the way you play the Des Moines that I couldn't really understand what it was trying to do back in the day. I know, oh, acceleration. But there are actual strategies that have developed in the community about how to use it to the absolute best. And I love that. I love that about the community. I love that about all this stuff. And I'm going to take the legendary opportunity that Wargaming gave us and deliver significant content over how long it takes to cover all the legendaries with real videos and real guides and all that stuff. You get the picture. That's what I want to do. And this is just a great example of why. I never gave this the time of day. It was not fair to the module because it was weird. It was different. And because of that difference, I just didn't give it enough attention at the time. But I will be giving attention to all the legendaries and showing you a real build with a real success game over the coming weeks and months. So hopefully you'll check that out. I know this has been a frustrating aspect of this. It has been really frustrating for me because it just feels like there's not enough information covering it before I invest so much time to grind. It is so much time to grind Wargaming. I don't know why it's so grindy, but it is. So just keep a lookout for that. On top of that kind of content, I'm going to be doing a down the line for the Royal Navy destroyers this week. I'm going to be playing them. I'm going to be trying to really understand the play style and really nail it down. I have personally discovered that when I play my Jutland and my Daring, I have a higher than average number of enemies who refuse to take damage from me. Just me, no one else apparently in that game. They don't want to die to me. So a build, for example, that doesn't pick up inertia fuse high explosive, my original recommendation, as I feared, players just don't want me to be able to kill them. So I have started testing with IFHE radio location and also concealment just to see if I can get a little better stats on my Daring. Obviously, predominantly firing AP when given the chance, but a lot of DDs don't give me the chance, and I think it's obvious reasons. I'm not complaining that, oh wow, enemies actually recognize that I can play the game correctly, so they're not going to let me beat them. They're going to let some player who plays the game maybe once a month try and beat them. I get it, it's fair, but it's frustrating, right? You've probably run into the same experience sometimes with your Daring or your Jutland. And I just want to let all you know, I will be covering it in Down the Line this week. We'll be just discussing how the community as a whole has reacted to the launch of the Royal Navy destroyer lines. And hopefully that's useful content. I want to get back to that stuff. I feel like it's so easy not to cover it because there's so much stuff to cover. And life has just really been awful to me and my family recently with multiple cancer diagnoses, multiple friends lost to it, It's been really brutal, and I apologize for all of that. I know you guys deserve great content, and I want to deliver it. Life has to give. Life can't keep taking. It has to give back at some point, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Just stay positive, but that's where I'm at right now. I want to make legendary content for each and every single legendary. I also want to discuss the Down the Line series weekly. We want to get back to covering that. God, what else? Oh yeah, 5-starring the Halloween missions. It's very important for this Halloween that you 5-star. Every 5-star in one of the operation scenarios gives you access to a submarine whenever that operation goes live. It's not going to go live until, I think, Halloween, the 31st of October, but if you do the couple that are available right now, you will have early access to the subs, and then you can take that and you can unlock more submarines when you play through the scenario. And there are players who are just, what do you do? What do you recommend? How do you approach it? I don't feel like people are doing a good enough job of making the content that, players want. So that's going to be another thing that I'm looking to do. And on top of that, obviously, rank sprint occurred. It was very short. We're going to get another one in about a 2-week span. And the ships that are successful, at least on North America, it's pretty much the better CV wins. The 4 or 5 battleships per side who can actually fire and focus. And then the token DD here, there, or everywhere. Sometimes I get a game where there's like 4 DDs per side. That's not fun at all. And then other games, I get no DDs. But I'll share some loose strategy that seems to work very well for me in rank sprint. It is not very stressful though. There's a lot of protective ranks that will prevent you from falling backwards that quickly. So yeah, there's a lot of content to cover, and just not enough time. And then on top of that, I could do some more comparison videos on like matchups, tier 5 DDs or tier 5 cruisers. What works, what doesn't work, what are you looking to do, which one's more vulnerable to citadels, which one is better at tanking damage, right? All of these things are very useful bits of information that the community just is insatiable for. And I plan to deliver. That's the goal. Alright, so we talked about all that stuff. Just a lot of content plan, and just not enough time. On top of all of that, of course, we have the CV rework testing. And the CV rework testing has been going fine, albeit a little disappointing for a lot of CCs. I think I'm a little bit more positive on the subject than most, but that's just my nature, right? Why would I tear it down when I need to gain their support, gain their trust, so I can at least help provide feedback towards the direction that is actually useful to the community, right? I always laugh when I see someone's comments like, shut up, Notser, you have no knowledge on the subject. And I just like, bull crap, I have no knowledge on the subject. I've played the game forever. I don't need to know how to dominate every single scenario. I have eyes. I have goals, I have wishes in gameplay. We all have our own opinions on what gameplay we want to experience. You can't be wrong about that. So I just shake my head at stuff like that, like, just get a life, bro, okay? You can share your opinion, I could share my opinion. Nobody is saying that your opinion doesn't matter. No one is saying that my opinion matters way more than yours. I'm just merely talking in a video that you happen to be watching. We're trying to make the game that's great for everyone, and I don't know that it will be great for everyone if we refuse to provide feedback. Significant conversation, okay? I don't see anything wrong with that, and 99% of the community doesn't see anything wrong with that. They want the same better game that we're all hoping for. I don't do this because I make so much buttloads of money that I can, retire on an island. I do this because I enjoy the process of teaching people how to be better at something. I love discussing a topic that I really enjoy. I'm a nerd. I know that's shocking for a lot of people, but I'm a giant nerd. I'm a nerd when it comes to games, movies, music, whatever. I like to really dig down into why I like something or dislike something and try and improve it. That seems very natural to me. So just chill out. Okay, we're trying to build a better CV. But the CV rework, overall, you know, it's somewhere. It's not anywhere close to gameplay that I think would be appropriate, but it's getting somewhere. If they refine it more and maybe put in more systems that support what we're trying to get from them, maybe we would all feel better about it, and I hope that that will happen. But at this point, it is so far away, and there's absolutely no conversation whatsoever by Wargaming. I'm sure they'll take all the feedback, they'll consider it, and then they'll make a plan of attack. We just got to get CVs into a state where people feel like, okay, they act like a CV, they control like a CV, the aircraft perform CV-like roles, but it doesn't become the only thing that they do. They're just not constantly attacking a target until he's dead. You know, it never lets up. That feels really volatile for the player because you feel so helpless. So incredibly helpless. And you don't want to feel helpless. You want to feel like your actions matter. And I think that's their goal. I think that's absolutely the goal. I just don't know if that goal will be reached if we don't provide feedback. You see where the conundrum with, you know, shut up and don't say anything, that doesn't really make any sense, you know? That's pretty dumb. Thank you. And, yeah, so, Halloween content, 5-star guides, we're going to be doing down the line for the Royal Navy DDs this week. I still want to really figure out what works with them. I feel, 99% of the way there, but I'm not consistent with my torpedo usage. I'm considering, should I invest more in torpedo reload cooldown because it is so poor. It is so terrible, honestly. And the guns, they're great, but I don't know that they do the kind of damage that a DD needs to do without taking too much damage, right? So yeah, that was the Acceleration Des Moines. I didn't play it particularly well, and we got completely overrun and we lost the game, but did tons of damage and the enemy could never catch up. So I thought it was interesting. More legendary content to come. I hope you all enjoyed this. Share your thoughts in the comments. Of course, I'm going to read every single one. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.